Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back, or welcome to another Bangs Audio review. It's actually a review this time. I've got the Dunu X Koto Ito for you guys today, which immediately wins the backup or the runner-up bass performer of the year. Just yeah, it's all that for sure. Collab, of course, between Dunu and Koto. I think Koto is in the gaming community, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure he's on socials, obviously, and his tuning preference for this set and Dunu's expertise in driver implementation and tuning, and just a really nice collab. That I feel like is absolutely worth the price that is being asked for it as well. So that's always a good thing, right? Especially when you are in the collab sort of situation where you wonder, who's making what kind of money off of it. And to me, it's appropriately priced. Just so we get that straight out of the way. Yeah, good stuff. Anyway, we'll do an unbox. There's a sleeve over here, but it's very, very shiny. So I will try to keep it mostly out of the shininess. Your specs: frequency response is 5 hertz to 40 kilohertz, and the impedance is at 37 ohms, so a little bit on the high side. These were a little tougher to drive, but not like out of control. Sensitivity 105 decibels, so sensitivity is there. Driver config is a 2DD, 2BA. You've got a 10 millimeter ultra low frequency dynamic driver. That's a biocellulose dome. And then you've got an 8 millimeter mid to low frequency DD with the LCP, liquid crystal polymer. And then custom, because they're not branded, 1BA for the mid to high frequency, and then 1BA for the ultra high frequencies. So there you go, specs. It's yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not a super hard to drive set, but at the same time, it does require a little bit more power behind it, I feel, to perform up to its potential. Luckily for me, I've got plenty of options for higher power, so I didn't have a problem driving them. I guess I would just I would be a little bit hesitant to recommend it, running it off just an Apple dongle. Might not get loud enough for you, and I don't think it's going to really be a full picture of the potential of the set, unless you've got, let's say, at least something like the Questyle M15C, like at least 200 to 300 milliwatts of power behind it. I think is a good thing to do. Inside of the box, box, nicely engineered box. IM's, of course, sat here in the foam. There's foam on the inside of the box there too to keep them protected. You had your nice oversized Dunu case, like that zipper case, which is let's see if I can reach it down here. Maybe. I think it's still the same as the. Look at that. Look at this, guys. It's the Titan S2 case. How about that? I'll bet you that modular cable is swappable too. Anyway, all right. So, nice cases with the Dunu products from my personal experience. Certainly protective enough and big enough to add some, stuff, ear tips, small dongle DAC, whatever you can fit in there as well. It came with, typical stuff. There's a cleaning brush. There's tips. I know there's candies in here. There are SNS tips in here. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's candies, SNS, and a couple of foamies. Yeah. What are these guys? Let's see. Hold on. Oh, yeah, just straight standard normal bore silicone. So you get 3 different sets of ear tips with it. Some nice ones if you like the candies there and there, if you like the SNS tips there and there. So yeah, nicely accessorized, honestly, for the price point. What is the price point these days? I know it's under 200. I feel like it's like around 150. Let's just pop up Amazon. That's the easiest way to find it real quick. Dunu x Koto Ito. Oh, 204. I think I got these on sale. In fact, I'm sure I got them on sale. Let's see. Can I get into my account? Really? Ugh. There we go. Okay. Returns and orders. If I even ordered these off of Amazon, I might have gotten them from AliExpress. Interesting. Well, they're saying 204 right now, but I know I did not pay 204 for them. Yeah, it looks like I did get them off of Ali. Yeah, I think I paid about 150 or 160. So they're gettable for that price. And yeah, I mean, I think they're worth 200. I'll just, if you can say that the Kiwi Ears KE4 is worth 200, then you can definitely say the Dunu Koto Ito is worth $200. So I don't have a problem with the price point. Certainly, build quality is there, comfort is there. All right, well, let's do the cable. Cables first. Cable is modular. It's kind of bouncy. It's got some memory to it. But the thing is, it doesn't bother me because it has a high quality feel to it. It's a four braid to a 2 braid, and yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call it tangly. It's bouncy. There's memory. It's hard to coil it up and have it stay put. Let's see if I can do that really quick. Show you what I'm talking about. So, I mean, not bad, but if it just kind of starts to come apart. In that sense, I guess that keeps the tangliness down, so that's good. And it is modular, and it's got that nice lock system, so, to screw in. You got to line it up correctly, of course. 3.5 and 4.4 are included. Finishes are nice. Yeah, I like the cable. Like the cable quite a bit. As far as the build quality goes, the shell definitely feels like a, molded solid piece of 3D printed resin. Faceplates, mine are a little bit dark, but they are sort of a sparkly dark bluish green, sort of deep ocean kind of feel to them. See if I can keep them in the screen here for you. Ito on one side, Dunu on the other, and yeah, overall I like the build quality. They feel nice. They're a little chunky insofar as their depth, but I think that's pretty. I mean, I found them really comfortable. I don't know if people with smaller ears are going to have an issue with fit, but despite the size of the shell, I don't know. I don't know if I could side sleep with them, but they didn't. Let me put them back in here for a second. Yeah, no, they fit right in. And my ears are, medium small, as far as the morphology goes. Nice. Yeah, I mean, they're comfortable. They really are. They're comfortable. Unless your ears are tiny, I think you're going to be fine. You can see, obviously, the normal board Divinus Velvet on there. It's where I always start. Always start there, and that's sometimes where I finish, and that's exactly what happened with these guys. Just really liked how, the seal that I got, and, it's sort of the bore width is almost exactly the same size as the nozzle. So, yeah, it was a good match. Good match for sure. Anyway, well accessorized, specs out nice. Definitely good drivers in there. We'll get into the BAs. The BAs are not perfect, so I'm not going to say that they are. But the tuning was well done. Really, really well done, in my opinion. So let's get into it. Let's take a look. Let's see here. Here we go. There's your frequency response graph. And this is also posted in the community section, like I try to do before I post review videos, so you can reference them later. It is balanced as all get out. It is a V for sure. You can see that. Tons of sub bass. We're gonna get the bass is really what this set is about. So we'll get into all of the goodies insofar as that goes. The bass isn't perfect, but it is super satisfying. You can see that the ear gain between 1 to 2K looks kind of normal, and then between 2 and like 2.8K it gets steep, and you're going to feel that. People that are sensitive to the upper mids are going to probably I can't say, I'm not going to say that it's not going to be enjoyable for you, but you're going to know it. You're going to notice this this energy. It's a fairly, if I just start from 1K and go to almost 3K, it's a pretty steep climb, and it's not shouty or honky. It doesn't sound unnatural necessarily, but the intensity is there. The reason for that intensity is obvious. It's because of the sub bass and some of the mid bass too. They had to balance it out. Personally, think they probably could have cut it just a little bit shorter, but a little bit lower here, maybe a decibel or two. But I'm not a tuning expert. I'm not a sound engineer, and they may have had to do this just because of the sheer quantity of the bass response in the set. So I'm not going to question it. I did not have an issue with it. So, but that's me. Listen, something I know about myself, learned about myself. I was in the wine and spirits industry for a long time before I got sober, and I felt like I was pretty freaking good at it. Like as far as assessing different wines from different countries, one of the and regions, and all of that, climates, microclimates, elevation, all that kind of stuff, different soil compositions. The one thing that I prided myself on was my ability to not like sort of prejudge anything. My ability to sort of take everything for what it was and be able to appreciate what it was instead of trying to say, well, this isn't like it should be. You know what I mean? Like, unless there was an obvious flaw, right? If there was TCA contamination, or if there was Brettanomyces contamination, or if there was reduction because the wine was overheated at some point during transportation, or if it was just overly acidic, or overly sweet, or overly oaky, or overly tannic, like these things that would stick out like a sore thumb, yeah, of course I'm going to knock the wine if it's inherently flawed. But just because the wine didn't have the style that I necessarily preferred, that doesn't mean that it was bad. That doesn't mean that somebody else might not like it. And I really took a lot of pride in my ability to sort of recognize that and be able to let things be what they're supposed to be, or what they were intended to be, even if they didn't 100% agree with my palate, with my taste, right? The same thing is, I apply the same philosophy to IEMs and headphones, and well, to an extent, speakers, and kind of a lot of different things as far as musical enjoyment goes. I like the fact that we have different tuning philosophies. I love the fact that we have different driver configurations. I love the fact that we just have like this whole massively diverse tapestry, because otherwise, if everything sounded the same, we'd be bored as shit after like 4 sets. So when a set like this comes along that doesn't adhere to, say, the Harman curve, there's a little Harman to it, but not really, or isn't tuned just to be pleasing to everyone, I appreciate it. And this set to me went 100% for fun, for high energy, for excitement, and it achieved all of that. Okay? So if you see this and it scares you, if you see this and you've heard sets before, if you're not just looking at the graph and going, oh, I don't like how that looks, if you've heard sets that are tuned like this before in the ear gain and it bothered you, then you can skip it. I see no reason to recommend it to somebody who's not going to enjoy it. But I don't want you to think that that's all this set is about, because what the set is really about is this. And a nicely, smoothed out mid to upper treble too. you know, so there's not a lot of fatigue happening up here, but still decent detail and a nice amount of stage too. Um, it's definitely more. If I were to compare it to the KE4, it's more energetic in the treble than the KE4 is, and a little bit more aggressive, obviously, in the ear gain. So that's where they part ways. But it does, at the same time, the bass is more intense too. Like, the bass is just uh, voluminous. That's a nice word, right? Voluminous is a word, isn't it? It's big. It's bold. It is resonant. It definitely like rattle. It's teeth rattling. It is perfect for like hip hop. And the set does really, really well for metal too, as long as this isn't gonna bother you. Some people it will. For me, it doesn't. For me, I enjoy the energy there. So I loved listening to metal with this set in particular. But is it an all-arounder? It is something. Is it something? I mean, yeah, it's going to play pop well. It's going to play rock well. Obviously metal. Obviously hip hop. Some EDM. It's got some immersion to it. It's got, so if you're like listening to trance stuff or trip hop or whatever, you're going to get that kind of fun out of it as well. But perhaps maybe not for opera or classical music, maybe not quite refined enough to fully experience those types of genres, right? But that's okay, because I really don't feel like that was the intent. And I'm sure it's wonderful for gaming, just based on the immersion and the imaging and the detail. There's detail there. It's not a detail monster, but you can pick out detail without trying super hard. So, overall, like, just really, really enjoyable, really fun. And if you love bass, God, it's hard to go wrong, Second only for 2025 releases, second only to the Ponch Audio Martello for me. Like, it's right there. The Martello is more refined. The Martello has more bass detail and is more articulate, right? But this is just as big. It's just a little bit. I'm not going to call it boomy. It's just a little bit more. It's a little broader. We'll just put it that way. It's not quite as tightly controlled as the Martello is. And the Martello's got big ass bass. It's just really well controlled. This has a little bit more resonance to it. You're going to notice it. Like, listening to like Another Day, when the bass synth goes down like super, super low, like low D, E, flat, like way, way down there, and you're still feeling it and hearing it at the same time. Yeah, that's the kind of set this is. So definitely for bass heads, and it definitely has enough mid bass to keep you interested as well too. It's not just all about the sub bass. It's got mid bass too. Vocals, yeah, maybe a little bit, maybe a little bit tucked, but not too bad. Obviously, female vocals are going to come through pretty clear. Lower register male vocals, like, yeah, they were a little bit back, a little bit recessed, but not like covered. They were still there, just not like prominent necessarily. Sure had plenty of weight though. That is for sure. Plenty of weight. Yeah, overall it's gonna get a solid recommend. Maybe not my highest recommendation. I feel like there's competition in the $200 range. You've got things like the Grit, you've got things like the KE4, you've got things like the SimGod ET142, you've got things like the BGVP NS10 Pro. I mean, they're all different sets, are all different tunings, but does it hold with those? Yeah, it holds up with those. I don't think it beats any of them overall performance wise, but it sure as heck is fun. It's just a really, really fun set. And that combined with some technical performance and the nice accessories and the good build quality, yeah, definitely gets a recommend for sure. Nice job with these guys in their collab. I'll tip my hat to them. I didn't know if I was gonna like them or not. I waited, I wasn't like on top of this release, that is for sure. But I'm glad I finally did get them, and I'm glad I got a chance to share my thoughts on them with y'all. So, for now, that's going to do it. Be careful, be safe, be nice. Love y'all. Nothing but peace to you. See you in a couple of days for the Lecture S12 Ultra. That's going to be interesting. Peace.